left Peru and sailed to England alone. There he met the Browns and they took him home. Now a new life has begun. He's Windsor Garden's favorite son, 'cause he always does his best to help everyone. When a problem appears, he never misses a beat and always finds a way to land on his feet. Has his very own unique point of view. Looks at everything as if it's brand new. He is friendly and polite, and he tries to do things right, but he gets in sticky messes just the same. He's curious and speaks his mind, but trouble's never far behind. It's Paddington Bear, he's one of a kind.
I'm Paddington Bear.
I do wish Mr. Curry would hurry up and finish all his home improvement.
I wouldn't mind if they were his ideas in the first place. But now he's even talking of putting a serving hatch in his kitchen wall, just like the one Mr. Brown installed.
He said he'd do that right after he copies the concrete path Mr. Brown put in our garden.
Oh, indeed. If Mr. Curry's not simply being mean, he's busy copying everyone else's ideas.
Are you sure you won't come with us, Paddington?
No, thank you, Mrs. Brown. I think I'll stay at home and sit in the garden.
Oh, I don't think you'll get much peace. Not while Mr. Curry's busy trying to copy all of Henry's improvements.
It had indeed been a very busy week for Mr. Brown. The serving hatch he installed made life easier for everyone, not just Mrs. Bird. And the kitchen sparkled with a fresh coat of paint. It was when Mr. Brown laid the new concrete path in the garden that Mr. Curry got wind of it all. Mrs. Bird says that Mr. Curry's never had an original idea in his life.
I'll never finish these renovations. Unless... Good morning, Bear.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Curry.
I wonder if you'd care to lend a paw, Bear. I'm laying down some stakes, and it's a bit difficult with only one pair of hands. This way!
Mrs. Bird is right, Mr. Curry. You do want your house to look like ours.
What? Well, anyway, I'll show you where you can put the stakes, and you can carry on while I go out for more supplies. And if you finish before I get back, you can collect some rubble for the path's foundation. If you do a good job, there might be 10 pence in it for you.
Thank you, Mr. Curry, but...
Good. Now, when I nod my head, you hit it. Bear! Where are you, Bear? Come back here, Bear!
I couldn't believe my ears when Mr. Curry told me to hit his head, but over the years I've learned never to question him. There's always a first time.
Oh, when I get my hands on him, oh, you'll be sorry. Now I shall have to stop at the doctor's before buying my supplies.
While I hadn't agreed to lend a paw with the stakes or collect rubble, I did feel badly about hitting Mr. Curry, and I wanted to make it up to him. But since he hadn't shown me where to put the stakes, I'd have to find another way to help him. And I did. Oh! I found that knocking down walls was much more interesting than what Mr. Curry had planned for me. Even with all the dust. I had finished one of the best jobs I could ever remember doing, and I was sure Mr. Curry would be just as pleased. Oh dear, I think I'm in trouble again. I'd seen the Browns' house from a great many different angles, but never from that direction. Uh-oh.
There you are, Bear. What are you up to now?
What am I up to now, Mr. Curry?
Ah, I see you're trying to make amends, and you've done very well. This is excellent rubble. Here, I promised you 10 pence, and I must say you've earned it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Curry. But I won't spend it yet in case you want it back.
Nonsense. Of course I shan't want it back. This rubble's just what I need for my path.
I don't think you should use it for your path, Mr. Curry. You may want it for something else.
Something else? Whatever are you on about? Give me an example.
If it's all the same to you, Mr. Curry, I'd rather not.
Well, back to work then. There. That won't come up again in a hurry once it's set. Bear? Where have you got to, Bear? Yoo-hoo! Bear! 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 Bear!
Ooh, I just saw a bear running that way.
He'll be doing more than running when I catch him.
Don't worry, mate. I'll just leave your milk in this delivery hatch. Won't even have to bother you from now on.
Delivery hatch?
It's a terrific idea, you know. I'm sure the grocery boy and anyone else who has to make deliveries will agree. It'll make life so much easier. And if you build a cupboard inside, you won't even have to answer the door.
No, I wouldn't, would I? Ah, there you are, Bear. Come here at once.
I'm sorry about the serving hatch, Mr. Curry. You see, I picked the wrong wall by mistake. Your house is the same as the Browns', except everything's the other way round.
Don't worry, Bear. It's a splendid idea. Very practical indeed. Don't know why I didn't think of it ages ago. And you know what the best part of it is, Bear?
It was free, Mr. Curry?
Not only that, Bear. What's best of all is that no other house on the street has one.
Ah, maybe I'll surprise Mr. Brown with one as well.
People come from all over the world to photograph and study the animals of the Galapagos Islands. That is why I'm afraid you only have one day to carry out your research, Mr. Gruber.
That should be plenty of time, Mr. Sanchez. I'm sure I'll be able to get all the photographs I need for my book, The World and Its Wonders.
And it is because of this young bear that you have been given permission. After all, he is from Peru.
And because Peru and Ecuador are right next to each other, we're neighbors, Mr. Sanchez.
Exactly. So, we will meet back here at the end of the day. Good luck.
Isn't this exciting, Mr. Brown? The Galapagos Islands, where evolution happens before your very eyes. Look, Mr. Brown. Oh, wait!
I hope evolution slows down a bit while we're here, Mr. Gruber. Otherwise, you won't get any good pictures.
The blue-footed booby. Steady, Mr. Brown, don't startle it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gruber, but you didn't say anything about it startling me.
Don't worry, Mr. Brown. But we shall have to work out a plan if we are to get the photographs we need. You go that way, and I'll go this way. We'll circle towards each other and corner the bird.
Bears are good at going round in circles, Mr. Gruber.
Quietly, Fran. Do not frighten them away.
Hurry, Fritz, or the shot will be ruined.
We waited hours for the sun to be perfectly positioned, and you ruined the shot.
Me, Fritz. You are the one who wasn't fast enough.
1 whole month, and still we have nothing interesting for a documentary film on the Galapagos Islands.
We must find something soon, or our reputations will be ruined.
Aha! But where's Mr. Gruber? Perhaps I can see him from up there. But I'll need to use my claws.
What's that?
Amazing. Red feet. Are you filming?
Of course. Do you see that? Red feet, blue body, red crest. What kind of creature is this?
I have never seen anything like it. You had better not ruin this shot, Fritz.
Mr. Gruber! Ah!
Whoa! Mr. Gruber! Mr. Gruber!
That cry. Fantastic. And whatever it is on the move.
We must get closer, but first, we need camouflage.
I certainly have a helpful assistant. His cries sent the bird right to me.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Gruber. Oh, Mr. Gruber, I've ruined another picture.
That's quite all right, Mr. Brown. We'll just have to try again. Whatever happened to your Wellingtons?
Oh, I left them back there.
Perhaps you should fetch them while I track the bird.
I love this part of our job.
I shall be picking leaves out of my hair for weeks.
You must be perfectly quiet, Fran.
I must be quiet.
Shh! That sounds like something very large. I hope it isn't something that's looking for lunch.
Shh! Here it comes. Ah, it must have spotted us. It is trying to get away. Hurry!
It's chasing me.
There! This creature is behaving strangely. Almost as if it knows it is being followed.
My hat! Something sprung a leak. There. I must be sure to tell Mr. Sanchez about this.
Now is the time to get a close-up. We must be very careful. Who knows what we're dealing with?
I wonder if this creature has a defense mechanism. It could be dangerous.
This creature, it throws rocks.
Ah, Mr. Brown. I'm afraid to say that I've lost the bird.
Well, there's lots more we can take pictures of, Mr. Gruber.
It's the blue-footed booby again. I think it's after your marmalade sandwich.
Aunt Lucy always told me to share.
Good work, Mr. Brown.
Hurry up, Mr. Gruber. It's about to begin.
What a stroke of luck, Mr. Brown, to be able to watch a nature documentary on the Galapagos Islands so soon after our trip there.
I'm sure it'll be very helpful for your book, Mr. Gruber.
We have made a truly wonderful discovery. A new species never before seen on the Galapagos Islands. Isn't that right, Mr. Sanchez?
Experts have examined this footage quite carefully and all agree that this is an undocumented species.
But that looks like my coat, and my Wellingtons, and my hat.
But the greatest mystery is that this rare species seems to have disappeared without a trace.
Well, we know where that rare species is, don't we, Mr. Brown?
And if you had your camera, Mr. Gruber, you could take a picture of it. My favourite part of the day is sharing my buns with Mr. Gruber. I always learn a lot from our chats together. Good morning, Mr. Gruber. Mr. Gruber? That's funny. Mr. Gruber never misses our 11s. I do hope he's all right. Not a sign of him. And no clues. On second thoughts... Mr. Gruber, are you all right?
Mr. Brown, is that you? Ah, good morning, Mr. Brown. I see you've spotted my latest acquisition. It's an old crock. That's the name given to vintage cars. This one is so old it runs on steam.
You mean you have to boil a kettle to make it go?
No, Mr. Brown. What I mean is that it's a steam-powered automobile. It was built in the days before they invented the engines we use today. But I'm afraid it's a little worse for wear at the moment. I wonder if you wouldn't mind helping me to restore it, Mr. Brown.
Restore it? Oh, yes, please, Mr. Gruber.
Soon there will be the International Fair in the Portobello Road, and I hope to enter it in the Grand Parade, if it's ready in time.
I've had plenty of practice at cleaning things up, Mr. Gruber. I'm sure we'll be able to turn this old crock into a new one in no time at all. And after a lot of hard work, that's just what we did. But I also managed to get very, very dirty. It was time to use a secret weapon. Magic bubbles contain special ingredients. With just one capful, magical results are guaranteed. Magical results. That's just what I need. If one capful does all they say, think what two might do. After all, tomorrow is a very special day.
Here you are, Paddington. I think I've removed all the stains.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bird.
You look so clean and shiny. And so slippery. It almost seems a pity to cover you up.
It's the magic bubbles, Mrs. Bird. 2-ton muscles galore, the strongest man in the world. He sounds very interesting.
Ah, Mr. Brown, I have to go and register the car. Why don't you have a look around the fair?
Where shall I start, Mr. Gruber?
Why, just follow your nose, Mr. Brown.
Ah, I see you've seen the bonny prize.
Prize?
For tossing the caber. Take a look over there.
Oh!
Hurry up to it, laddie.
I might have a go.
You, hand the caber to this young gentleman here.
You're kidding me, right? He'd never be able to hold it up.
I'll have you know that bears are very good at holding things. Thank you very much.
Huh? Mr. Brown?
Why, I'm gonna...
Come on now, Muscles. It's time for your show.
Oh, dear, Mr. Brown. This has put a damper on our entering the Grand Parade.
Perhaps we could try parading it on 3 wheels.
It's possible, I suppose, Mr. Brown. But someone would have to hold the other corner. Someone with a lot of strength.
I shan't be a moment, Mr. Gruber.
And in this corner, I give you the strongest man in the world, the one, the only 2-ton muscles galore. And our challenger, ladies and gentlemen, is...
Who are you, Champ? My name isn't Champ. It's Paddington Brown, and I'm from darkest Peru.
And in Miss Caller, all the way from darkest Peru, Paddington Brown!
Now, ain't this just a funny turn of events? It's him again. I'm going to enjoy this.
Mr. Galore, I was...
Yeah, he's all slippery. No.
Mr. Galore, I just wanted to...
He's coated himself with something. I can't get an hold. He's all slippery, worse than a eel.
Paddington? Did you hear that?
Come over here, you!
No, thank you, Mr. Galore.
Well, I never, in all my years. Muscles galore indeed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
Mrs. Bird, I only wanted to ask Mr. Galore if he'd help with Mr. Gruber's car.
Anything. I'll do anything you want. Just get her to stop, will ya?
I must thank you, Mr. Brown. I'd almost given up hope of entering the Grand Parade.
You're welcome, Mr. Gruber. But Mrs. Bird helped a bit too.
You're looking very full of beans, Paddington. Anyone would think you had a bus to catch.
Actually, I'm looking forward to a nice hot bath, Mrs. Bird.
Goodness gracious. Wonders will never cease.
My whiskers are a bit dusty, so I may need some more magic bubbles. They were so successful today, who knows what results they could bring tomorrow.